Have you ever seen software degrade? Have you ever seen the structure of a software system rot like a piece of bad meat? Getting worse and worse and worse with time. How can that happen? Software is not a biological substance that bacteria can invade. How is it that software systems rot with time, becoming ever more tangled and ever more corrupt? How does that happen? Well, obviously, it's us who's doing it. Our fingers are on the keyboard. We are the bacteria that rot the code. But why? Why do we rot the code? No, nobody wants to rot the code. Why do we rot the code? And I'll tell you why. Because it's really easy. How many of you have brought code up on a screen and you look at it and say, it's rotten, it's awful, I should clean it. And your next thought is, I'm not touching it. Because if you touch it, you will break it. And if you break it, it becomes yours. So you walk away. Not me, I'm not going to be the one to touch that code. Somebody else can clean that code. If this is the way you react in fear, then the only thing that can happen to that code is that it will rot. No one will ever do anything to make it better. The only thing that will happen to it is that people will go into that code when they absolutely must and do the absolute least to fix a bug or add a feature and get out as soon as they can because they're terrified. And I want you to think about how wildly irresponsible it is to be afraid of the thing you created. To have allowed it so far out of your control that you don't know what it's going to do when you change a line of code. Has anybody had that fear? God, I don't know what's going to happen if I change that line. It could be anything. Right? Who's had the experience of changing an obvious, simple line of code, just clear as day, and it did exactly what you thought it was going to do. It fixed whatever problem or added new whatever feature, but something over there broke. Some completely unrelated part of the system broke. Why? Because of some strange, weird dependency that had crept through the code, and that weird dependency was the outcome of a bunch of rot. How do you prevent that? How do you stop the rot? Well, you've got to get rid of the fear. You can't stop the rot if you're afraid. So you've got to get rid of the fear. How do you get rid of the fear? Well, imagine that you had a suite of tests. A suite of tests that you trust with your life. Literally, You trust this suite of tests with your job. And then you look at the code on the screen and you say, well, man, that's messy. Somebody should clean it. I think I'll clean it. And you change the name of a variable and you run the tests. It didn't break anything. Okay. I'll break that function in half. Now it's two functions. Run the tests. It passed. Good. It didn't break anything. Take that function and move it into that class over there. Run the tests. Broke. Put it back. Okay. Oh, yeah, green. All right. Runs again. I see what I did. I meant to move it over here. Run the tests. If you had those tests, cleaning would be easy, natural. You would want to do it. It would make your life easier if you had those tests. Why don't you have them? Okay, everybody can say, I'm on a legacy system and nobody wrote tests. Fine. But are you making the problem better or worse today?